Hello and welcome to the character creation video for Pathfinder Kingmaker. If you do not know what this is, it's a CRPG in the same kind of new wave as Divinity Original Sin and Pillars of Eternity, and it is based in the Pathfinder universe, a really in-depth kind of side, I'm trying to think of the right way of putting it, basically a splinter, that's what I'm looking for, of D&D 3.5, so it is super in-depth. And that's why I want to do the character creation in its own separate video, because there's so much to go through. It's so in-depth, and if I go into new game, you're going to see that we also kind of have to have a look at all of these, because this is the difficulty that we're going to be playing at. And there's a whole bunch of stuff in that as well. So, first thing in difficulty, we have to choose what the general difficulty is. Story, easy, normal, challenging. We're going to choose challenging. The reason we're going to choose it is because your character will suffer full damage from enemies, which normal mode doesn't give you. Enemies will fight at full power. Fantastic. Usual chances of inflicting critical hits. Again, sounds good. Your character will die after suffering a deadly injury. That sounds normal. I mean, you've got all of this stuff in normal mode where it's like, they'll do less damage. No. This is fine. And if your main character dies, the game is over. Now, that's going to drastically affect how we do character creation, because it's going to take several classes out the running, which is good, because there are a lot of classes, and we need to narrow them down. But what I really like is if your companion dies, you can resurrect them with Raise Dead or a similar spell, an extremely expensive service unavailable to most adventurers. That means if we get a companion with us and they survive for a long time to we're a higher level, there's a chance that we can do that, which I really like. So let's have a look here. What do we not have? We don't have Death's Door. Critical hits are normal. Dead companions rise after combat. No. Remove negative effects on rest. No. Auto level up. Definitely want to be off. Enemy stat adjustments. They're slightly tougher is what that says there. Now, by slightly tougher, it says we will suffer full damage. That seems fine. Damage to party is 1. Oh, okay, so they're slightly tougher and the damage to party is 1. That's interesting. I kind of like that. Enemy difficulty, normal. That seems fine. The party speed depends on the weight you're carrying. Now, that's interesting. Yeah, it affects your party's movement speed. Well, that's something that we're definitely going to have to worry about. I like that. I like that we're going to have to worry about that. It's something new. Kingdom management. Don't know what that is. We're going to assume that normal is right. Only active companions receive experience. I like having that off. I like having everyone gain experience. That way, if we need to bring in a character for like a story reason, we can bring them without worry that another character is going to lose out on experience. Only skill user receives skill check experience. So only the person who rolls on the ability check gains experience. I like everyone to get XP at the same time. I don't want to have one person, just because we use them, they get a lot of XP. You end up with that Pokemon situation where you got your one Pokemon who's level 70 and you got everyone else's level 30. It's not the way you want to play the game. What is last Aslanti mode? Okay, only one save slot is available in this game. The game automatically saves some key points upon game exit. No way, because I'm recording it, and if a recording crashes, I want to be able to roll it back because, well, the recording crashed. There's nothing there. Immersive Mode. Disables almost all interface hints in combat. Line of attacks, current enemies' actions. No. Need that stuff, because need to be able to see, and we'll have the tutorial, because I haven't played it before. Right, next. Aha, I was hoping we'd have character creation right now. Occasionally you get, like, in these kind of games, you get a cutscene now, but okay. So here's its suggested ones, which is interesting. So we have Hedvig, Melaku, Velin, Gimar, and Yadmila. So it gives us Cleric, Sorcerer, Ranger, Paladin, Fighter. Okay, interesting. I'm going to create a new character, but it is interesting to see what it's offered. So it's given us Frontline, given us a backline kind of DPS person. It's given us a full-on burst kind of guy, and it's given us a healer. So pretty much it's telling you can play anything, you'll be generally alright. Alright, new game. Portray. Ooh, what do you want to choose? This is too much of a, like usually get you to choose the appearance at the end, but what would like the look of? We could play like a little halfling. That could be cool. Yeah. Kind of like the idea of playing a little halfling. Could also play like something like an orc, which is probably going to... That's a cool picture. But you could play an orc who's going to be perhaps less liked by the people of the land. potentially. A human, if we want to be a little bit boring. A nun, if we want to be confused about what they're doing on an adventure. I don't know. Oh, that guy is scary in many ways. I kind of like this one. Yeah, that one kind of appeals to me. Yeah. I think we're going to go with the first one I clicked on, actually, though. I kind of like it. It's a little bit off-putting, a little bit unnerving, but I think it could be cool. Let's go with this character. We can always change it later. Oh, wow. This has changed a lot since I played it in the beta. So, we're a gnome. Oh, but we could also choose some other things if we wanted to not be a gnome. Okay. Gnomes trace their lineage back to the mysterious realm of the Fae. By the way, did I tell you there was going to be a lot of, like, in-depth stuff? I mean, we're barely started, and we're here. So, a place where the colors are brighter, the wildlands wilder, and emotions more primal. Unknown forces drove the ancient gnomes from that realm long ago, forcing them to seek refuge in this world. Despite this, gnomes have never completely abandoned their Fae roots or adapted to mortal culture. As a result, gnomes are widely regarded by the other races as alien and strange. Sounds like an interesting bit we're going in here. Gnomes are one of the smallest of the three common races, generally standing just over 3 feet in height. Their hair tends towards vibrant colours such as fiery orange of autumn leaves, the verdant greens of forests at springtime, or the deep reds and purples of flowers in bloom. Similarly, their flesh tones range from earthly browns to floral pinks, frequently with little regard for hereditary. Gnomes possess highly mutable facial characteristics, and many overly large mouths and eyes, an effect which can be both disturbing and stunning depending on the individual. It has a little thing that says right click at the bottom. Does that mean there's more? Oh, no, that means you can pop it out. Oh, okay, that's neat. Then we have some spells. So, we have our traits, not necessarily spells. And this is the same thing again. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so keen senses. Dwarves, elves, gnomes, half-elves, half-orcs, and halflings receive a +2 racial bonus on perception checks. So you get a +2 racial bonus on perception checks. Cool. Hatred, reptilian humanoids. Gnomes receive a +1 bonus on attack rolls against humanoid creatures of the reptilian and goblinoid subtypes because of their special training against these hated foes. Nice. Defensive training giants, we get a +4 dodge AC against monsters of the giant subtype because we're small and they're big. Makes sense. Lusion Resistance. Gnomes gain a +2 racial saving throw bonus against illusion spells and effects. So basically, we're basically in the Fae kind of stuff. We get Fae resistance, basically. No magic. Gnomes add +1 to the DC. DC is difficulty check. So basic, I think it's difficulty check is what it stands for. But basically what it means is, say that I was to attack someone. And I attack them with a DC 15 spell. With no bonuses, they have to roll a D20. And if that D20 comes above 15... we hit, or if their D20 comes above 15, they save it, and they get lesser effect. If it goes below 15, they don't save it, and we get our effect. So +1 to that basically means instead of a 15, we get 16, and they'd have to roll even higher. Get a good effect for them. So we might want to go into magic, or at least somebody who can utilize magic. Obsessive. Gnomes receive a +2 racial bonus on a knowledge world check. So, what is a knowledge world check? Well, knowledge checks are basically telling you about the world. So you'd be like, okay, I've arrived in a new place. Do I know what this new place is? Well, I'll roll a check on it. So we get a +2 to all world checks, anything like that. So, or things that, I think the world is more about it's more nature, I think, actually, world than that. I think there is one for like cities. Anyway, slow movement. We move slower because we're smaller. And then these are our stats that we get at the start for being a gnome. We get less strength. We'll leave that for just now. Before we don't need to read out all what the stats do. Well, I suppose we could basically go through them quickly. Strength, melee attack rolls, athletic strength checks, damage rolls. Yeah, when using a melee or thrown weapon, that works off strength. Dexterity. Dexterity, if it falls to 0, you're immobilized. Applies to ranged attacks. It gives you armor class, reflex saving throws, and mobility, trickery, and stealth checks. Con. Con is, well, 1 determines your health, which is pretty good. Well, it doesn't completely determine your health. There is a roll for your health, but it gives you a bonus on that roll. Right. Each roll of the hit die, which is like when you rest, do a short rest, you use some hit die, and then you can get some health out of that. Then your con gets added to that. Your con bonus. So each of these, I'll go for that in a second. Fortitude is for saving throws for resisting poison, disease, other, yep. And character's constitution score changes enough to alter his or her constitution modifier. The character's hit points also go up. So basically what it's saying is if we get con in the future, it stacks up. Now what I skipped over there for a second is bonuses. Now, bonuses happen on multiples of 2. Do you see at 10? This is your base level. Characters are determined, I think 10 means that you are average. 10 is 100% average. You are neither good nor bad. So, with our -2, here we go down to 8. Next multiple of 2 down, that now gives us a -1 to our strength. Con goes up by 2, we get a +1 to our con. And basically that's for saving throws and anything that works off it. That's what we add into our rolls. You barely use the actual number. Which also means that it's very important to try and end up with multiple of 2s when you're setting up your stats. Because if you end up with, say, you end up with 13, it's not any better than 12 most of the time because you still have a +1 bonus. Anyway, intelligence. Intelligence determines how well a character learns and reasons. Okay. If a character's intelligence falls to 0, they lose consciousness. Some creatures do not possess an intelligence score. Okay. Okay, so if they were like some kind of geo-type creature or some kind of elemental that doesn't have any intelligence. Or some kind of summon thing, I imagine. Your character's intelligence modifier affects the number of skill points gained at each level. Makes it very important. And you always gain at least 1. So I assume that each bonus to intelligence means that you get 1 more skill point a level. And knowledge checks, which we kind of talked about with knowledge world. Okay. So the minimum intelligence a wizard needs to cast a spell is 10 plus the spell's level. So if you want to cast a level 6 spell, you need 16 intelligence. That's for a wizard anyway. Wisdom. Wisdom describes characters' willpower, common sense, awareness, and intuition. Wisdom is the most important ability for clerics and druids. It is also important for monks and rangers. If you want your character to have acute senses, strive for high wisdom. So, basically, you apply them to wisdom saving throws, perception and lore checks, and then the spells work off wisdom for clerics, druids, inquisitors, and rangers. And then we come to charisma. Charisma reflects a character's personality, personal magnetism, their ability to lead, and their appearance. It is the most important ability for paladins, sorcerers, and bards. It's also important for clerics since it affects their ability to channel energy. For undead creatures, charisma is a measure of their unnatural life force. Each character has a charisma score. If it falls to 0, they lose consciousness. That's pretty much a similar thing for a lot of those. So you can allows you to use magic devices, influence others, channel energy DCs for clerics and paladins attempting to hurt undead foes, and bards, paladins, and sorcerers gain a number of bonus spells based on their charisma, and charisma needed to cast a bard, paladin, or sorcerer spell is 10 plus the spell's level. Have we got that all? Okay. Right, we have to choose our appearance, which is slightly less in depth. We can be a male or female. Well, we're going to choose a female, because that's what our portrait is. We're going to be left-handed or right-handed? Oh, it changes the stance. That's neat. We'll be left-handed. Be a little bit weird. Well, be unusual. Which body type are we going for? I'm going to go for super thin. Yeah. Some of these faces are a bit terrifying. Oh, that smile is unnerving. That's what I'm going for. Completely unnerving. Skin tone? Looks like it's just fairly, like, not purple. I was going to say normal, but what I'm meaning is not purple. Yeah, we'll just go for the start one. And then hairstyle. Oh, wow. That's intense. Okay. All of these are... I think I'm going to go with that one. Yeah, and then we'll have that in... Ooh, I don't know. We have that in like a... it's kind of more orangey. I was hoping for like a red. Go for green. Yeah, green's kind of neat. What is the... I do want to see what our portrait is. I kind of like just going with what the portrait has, but... I think it's kind of red-ish. But they don't really have red. Got anything else here? No. Blue's kind of nice. Remember, we're only going to be seeing them from top down, kind of like this. I'm going to go for purple. I like purple. There we go. Right. Next, we have to choose our class. Now, the reason I went through all of the stuff about which class and which stats we have is because it is very important. Because we have to choose one. Now, there are a lot of classes. Okay, these ones are locked. Why are these locked? I don't know. Why is it locked? Oh, wait, I know why these are locked. My very small knowledge of Pathfinder is coming in here. These are locked because these, I think, are, if I remember right, prestige classes? I say with a lot of uncertainty. Which I think means you can only take them once you have certain other things. So yeah, like this one says we have to have the ability to cast arcane spells level 3. So we have to be like a wizard level 3 and have martial weapons proficiency. We could then become an eldritch knight with our next class, because you can multi-class. Okay, interesting. So we're only going to be one of the first 10 classes? 12 classes? There's a lot anyway. Right, let's start eliminating them. What are we not going to be? Well, first of all, I'm not going to be a bard. Because when I played the beta, it looked like there was a bard in your party at the very start of the game. In fact, I think it was a bard halfling. So we'd be kind of filling the same zone. And they also appear to be telling the story. So I think we're crowding them a little bit by joining in there. What is Alchemist? I've never really looked at Alchemist before. Does the right click work on this one? No, the right click made it disappear. Okay. The Alchemist's reputation is not softened by his exuberance, some would say dangerous recklessness in perfecting his magical extracts and potion-like creations, infusing these substances with magic siphoned from his aura, using his own body's experimental stock, nor is it mollified by the Alchemist's almost lethal passion for building explosive bombs, discovering strange new poisons and methods for their use. These traits, while making him a liability and risk for most civilized organizations and institutions of higher learning, seem to fit quite well with most adventuring groups. If I click that, does that kind of show us what we get? Yeah, it does. Okay. We get like a mutagen where we can heighten physical prowess. I don't really want to go into physical kind of stuff. Also, there are subclasses. Oh, no, these are pre-made builds. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm not interested in Alchemist. Get that out of here. Right. So if I click on another one, yeah, it goes to 1. That's fine. Barbarian? Not going to be a barbarian, even though they excel in combat, possessing the martial prowess and fortitude to take on foes seemingly far superior to themselves, with rage granting their boldness and daring beyond that of most other warriors. Barbarians charge furiously into battle and ruin all who would stand in their way. That's not us. We're not playing a fighter. I think we're playing a magic user. Bard? Already not going to be a bard. Cleric? I don't think we want to be a cleric, although did cleric work off charisma? Is it going to let us hover over charisma here? No. Ooh, almost. Like, let us get wisdom, so there we go. Yeah, we can get charisma there. So bards, paladins, and sorcerers. Oh, charisma does affect it. You could convince me to be a cleric, but I don't think cleric's the way we want to handle this one right now. Well, what would charisma work off of? I'm thinking about being a paladin or a sorcerer, basically. Druid? Don't really feel like being a druid. Fighter, again, we're not playing a frontliner. Inquisitor. Now that's a really interesting hat. I don't know about Inquisitors. Inquisitors tend to move from place to place, chasing down enemies and researching emerging threats. As a result, they often travel with others, if for no other reason than to mask their presence. Inquisitors work with members of their faith whenever possible, but such allies are not above suspicion. Okay. It does look like they're a melee one as well, by the looks of it, that they've got a melee weapon in the picture here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we want to be... I don't really want to be a... Yeah. I don't think I want to be an Inquisitor. Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on it. I think they're another melee class. Mages. Mages spend much of their time traveling the world, learning whatever martial or arcane secrets they can find. They might spend months learning a new sword fighting style from a master warrior while simultaneously moonlighting in the local library, pouring through tomes of ancient lore. Most who take this path dabble in some sort of lore, picking up anything that might aid them in their search for perfection. Again, don't really want to play a melee class. Monk. I mean, I said I didn't want to play a melee class, so there we go. Monks excel in overcoming even the most daunting perils, striking when it's least expected. Paladin. Now, I did say don't want to play melee, but do I want to play a Paladin? I could be sold. Paladins serve as beacons for their allies within chaos of battle. While deadly opponents of evil, they can also empower goodly souls to aid in their crusades. Their magic and martial skills also make them well suited to defending others and blessing the fallen with the strength to continue fighting. The thing that's not selling me on Paladin is it does limit the companions that we can come across, because we have to, you know, we basically have to go with our Paladin-like ways. You know, we have to be a force of good or something like that, you know? Or force of something which may clash with someone else quite heavily. I don't think we want to do Paladin. Ranger. It just looks like they're wearing a cloak that's far too big for them. Rangers are deft skirmishers either in melee or range, capable of skillfully dancing in and out of battle. Their abilities allow them to deal significant harm to specific types of foes, but their skills are valuable against all manner of enemies. I don't really want to play a ranger. Rogue. Rogues excel moving unseen and catching foes unaware and tend to avoid head-to-head combat. Could be interesting, but I tend towards rogues a bit too much. Wizard. While universalist wizards might study to prepare themselves for any manner of danger, specialist wizards research skills of magic that make them especially skilled without specific focus. But I think we're going for Sorcerer. Sorcerers excel at casting a selection of favoured spells frequently, making them powerful battle mages. As they become familiar with a specific and ever-widening set of spells, sorcerers often discover new and versatile ways of making use of their magics other spellcasters might overlook. Their bloodlines also grant them additional abilities, ensuring that no two sorcerers are ever quite alike. That sounds really quite cool, and I want to play a sorcerer because I feel like that could I feel like that's going to give us a lot of options in combat. It allows us to be a magic user. We're probably going to be at the back of combat quite often. Unlikely to die, which is good. It works off charisma, which is great because working off charisma means that we get that extra bonus. Now, you could say con might also make us good for being a paladin because, you know, we get extra hit points. It's a negative strength that doesn't want me to play, makes me not want to play in melee. So I think I want to get that extra charisma. So let's go with that. So we get a couple of stuff at level 0. We get a bloodline, which is a huge amount of stuff. Each sorcerer has a source of magic somewhere in her heritage that grants her spells, bonus feats, and additional class skill, and other special abilities. This source can represent a blood relation or an extreme event involving a creature somewhere in the family's past. For example, a sorcerer might have a dragon as a distant relative, or a grandfather might have signed a terrible contract with a devil. Regardless of the source, this influence manifests in a number of ways as a sorcerer gains levels. A sorcerer must pick one bloodline upon taking your first level of sorcerer. Once made, this choice cannot be changed. Filled with magical power that screams for release, sorcery is not so much a calling as a blessing or a curse. For some sorcerers, this arcane birthright manifests in subtle and carefully controlled ways, assisting in their manipulation of others or their pursuit of lofty goals. For others, it is wild and unpredictable, the primal and explosive lashing out of power greater than themselves. So, you know, we're basically filled with arcane energy from an ancient bloodline that we are a part of. And we just naturally have this energy bursting out of us, and we have to focus it in some way. Okay. At 3rd level, and every 2 levels thereafter, the sorcerer learns an additional spell derived from her bloodline. These spells are in addition to the number of spells given at new levels. These spells cannot be exchanged for different spells at higher levels. At 7th level, and every 6 levels thereafter, the sorcerer receives one bonus feat, chosen from a list specific to each bloodline. The sorcerer must meet the prerequisites for these bonus feats. Get ready to see that line quite a lot. Right, what else do we get? We get sorcerer proficiencies. Sorcerers are proficient with all simple weapons. They are not proficient with any type of armor or shield. Armor interferes with a sorcerer's gestures, which can cause her spells with somatic components to fail. Interesting that matters. That usually doesn't matter in games, but again, one of the reasons I'm very hyped for this one. Cantrips. Sorcerers can cast a number of cantrips or 0-level spells. These spells are cast like any other spell, but they are not expended when cast and may be used again. So basically, you get a number of spell slots you can use each day, but if you happen to have cantrips, you can just use them however many times you like. I actually don't know how sorcerer spells are limited, but we'll find that out, I'm sure. We get a bonus feat at level 1, which is fine. We must meet all the prerequisites for the bonus feat, including caster level minimums. Okay, it's fine. And we get detect magic, so we can detect types of magic. Yeah. Can identify schools of magic to which spell belongs and is used in dialogues. I like that it says that, so that's useful. Right, next one. Bloodline. Oh yeah, there's a lot of bloodlines. So, I'm looking at these, and without going through any amount of like, ooh, we could be related to a dragon or any of that, the one that's jumping out to me is Fae. What do we get at Fae? Just because gnomes are naturally Fae, like they come from a Fae world. The capricious nature of Fae runs in your family due to some intermingling of Fae blood or magic. You are more emotional than most, prone to bouts of joy and rage. You have always had a tie to the natural world. As your power increases, so does the influence of the Fae of your magic. So the bonus feats are dodge, improved initiative, lightning reflexes, agile maneuvers, point blank shot, precise shot, quicken spell, and spell focus lower nature. Otherwise, I think no one is... Oh no, it's not all these. Never mind, he's also added some other stuff. Else these are other things we get later. So, get the same sort of... Oh, this is tallying up what we would have so far if we went for that. I like that it's tallying it up so we can keep track. So you would get Laughing Touch. At first level, you can cause a creature to burst out laughing for 1 round as a melee touch attack. Not so useful, but okay. A laughing creature can only take a move action, but can defend itself normally. Once a creature has been affected by Laughing Touch, it is immune to its effects for 24 hours. You can use this ability a number of times per day, equal to 3 plus your Charisma modifier. This is a mind-affecting ability. Fae Bloodline Arcana. Whenever you cast a spell of the Compulsion subschool, increase that spell's DC by +2. And Lower Nature. May class additional class skill from the Fae Bloodline. So we get a bonus to Lower Nature, I think. Okay, well, that's interesting. I'm not sure if we want to be a Fae. I think we may just check out the abilities of some others, and then maybe go and check out the lore if that happens to fall into our path here. So, Abyssal. So that would get us Grow Claws as a free action. This one's not shouting out to me. We can summon creatures and we get athletics. Nah, that's not shouting. That's not looking good for me. Arcane? Okay. Arcane. First level, you form a powerful bond with an object or creature. This bond can take one of 2 forms. A familiar or bonded object. A familiar is a magical pet that enhances your skills and senses, while bonded object is an item you can use to cast additional spells. Doesn't sound too bad. Arcane Bloodline Arcana. Whenever you apply a meta magic feat to a spell that increases the slot used by at least 1 level, increase the spell's DC by 1. Okay, interesting. And then Bloodline class skill. You can choose any knowledge skill to add to your class. Okay, that's not too bad. Arcane's on the list. Celestial. Heavenly Fire. Starting at first level, you can unleash a ray of heavenly fire as a standard action, targeting any foe within 30 feet as a ranged touch attack. Yeah, I know. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. Against evil creatures, this ray deals 1d4 points of damage, and +1 for every 2 sorcerer levels you possess. So, at first level, it does 1d4. This damage is divine and not subject to energy resistance or immunity. This ray heals good creatures of 1d4 damage, +1 for every 2 sorcerer levels. A good creature cannot benefit from your heavenly fire more than once per day. Natural creatures are neither harmed nor healed by this effect. Neutral, sorry. You can use this. It's the once a day stuff that's getting me on that. I don't feel that's useful. Okay, Celestial Bloodline. Whenever you cast the spell of the summoning stuff, the summoned creature gains damage resistance / evil, or against evil, equal to half your sorcerer level. Okay, and then you get religion. Again, not really feeling that one. Bloodline black, grow claws. Anything that says grow claws instantly makes me think, no. Also, they're acid dragons, basically. Blue, grow claws. Lightning. Brass, grow claws. Fire. Bronze, grow claws. Lightning. Are they both lightning? Yeah, they're pretty much the same, right? Well, they get a different picture, but same deal, right? There's 1 point electrical. No, it's actually the same picture. Yeah, it's a different picture up there, but okay. Copper. That is acid again. All the dragon ones are going to get us to grow claws. I'm not really feeling that. Don't really want to grow claws. Air. Okay, elemental ray. We unleash an elemental ray as a standard action, targeting any foe within 30 feet with ranged touch attack. This ray deals 1d6 points of electric damage, plus 1 for every 2 sorcerer levels you possess. You can use it 3 plus your charisma modifier per day, which means we can use it 5 times a day. And then mobility. Grants additional classical mobility. Okay, interesting. Earth. So, detect magic. Elemental ray. So that is 1d6 points of acid damage. And then mobility. Fire is fire and water is water. Infernal. That grow claws. That's corrupting touch. You can cause a creature to become shaken as a melee touch attack. Its effect persists for a number of rounds equal to 1/2 your sorcerer level. Minimum 1. Okay. Multiple touches do not stack, but they do add to duration. Okay, what else have we got? Charm skills increase the DC by +2. And a knowledge of the world. That's additional knowledge of world. Okay, Infernal's pretty good. Serpentine. At first level, you can grow fangs. I don't need to grow fangs. And then undead? How can you have an undead bloodline? Grave Touch. Starting at first level, you can make a melee touch attack, standard action that causes a living creature to become shaken for a number of rounds. If you touch a shaken creature with this ability, it becomes frightened for 1 round if it has fewer hit die than your sorcerer level. That means if it's a lower level than your sorcerer level, effectively. Undead are susceptible to your mind-affecting spells. Ooh, and they're treated as humanoids for the purpose of determining which spells affect them. Interesting. The taint of the grave runs through your family. Perhaps one of your ancestors became a powerful lich or vampire. Or maybe you were born dead before suddenly returning to life. That sounds awesome. I kind of like Infernal, actually, from our stuff. I like having the knowledge of the world. I think that seems quite useful. Charm spells, though, I kind of still like Fae a little bit, if they can't. But, yeah, there's almost too many choices. You kind of jump back in between them. And then Arcane is also pretty cool. Yeah, they're all pretty cool. You know what? What is up with Infernal? Let me read the lore, and maybe that'll convince me. Somewhere in your family's history, a relative made a deal with the devil, and that pact has influenced your family line ever since. In you, it manifests in direct and obvious ways, granting you powers and abilities. While your fate is still your own, you can't help but wonder if your ultimate reward is to be bound to the pit. You can draw upon the power of hell, though you must be wary of its corrupting influence. Such power does not come without a price. Yeah, I don't know. What was Arcane? Your family has always been skilled in the eldritch art of magic. While many of your relatives were accomplished wizards, your powers developed without the need for study or practice. Magic comes naturally to you. But as you gain levels, you must take care to prevent the power from overwhelming you. You know, after all this, I might just go Fae, because I really like the one where it gives us, you know, the large amounts of joy and the large amounts of rage. We're emotional. I think that's good. With the tie to the natural world, I think that's the way to go. Okay. So, I think I can just click next. Yes, because we get abilities and things later. That's fine. So, we get ability points to put into our abilities. And we get all of this. There's a lot going on here. So, basically, this is just telling us what our bonuses are. So, we go up here, melee attack bonus. So that's your base attack bonus, which hopefully it shows somewhere on the screen, which it doesn't. So maybe that's -1, plus your strength modifier, plus your size modifier. Oh, no, okay, yeah. That is -1. I'm wondering why it has 4 different ones here. But anyway, -1 is our strength modifier. And then the other ones just must be, it just doesn't matter. Okay, ranged attack is our dexterity modifier, is the first one there. Hit points is 8, because it is our con plus the base, which I think is 1d6 for us. Yeah, so if I push that up to 14, our hit points go up by 1. Yeah, there you go. Combat maneuvering, and there's a lot of calculations going into this. But basically, it's your skill in performing. So it is skill in performing combat maneuvers. Some of them do certain things. Like combat maneuvers might be, I think grapple falls into combat maneuvers, although that may use your base attack bonus, and I think has separate rules. We'll get into this later if it comes up. We can see our level currently. This isn't our level. These are our spell slots that we have available. So at first level, we have unlimited cantrips, so 0 level spells, and 4 first level spells. Fairly straightforward. Our armor class is 11. Armor class is what you need to roll against. It's similar to DC. So if somebody wants to hit us, just straight up, they roll a d20, add their bonuses, and if they go above 11, they hit us. If they go below 11, they don't hit us. And you can have different armor class for different things. So, if we're attacked in a way that we can't react to, so, like if we're immobilized or something, then if we had a dex bonus, that wouldn't be applied. Yeah. And then touch as if they're actually close enough to attack you or something like that. Yeah, I think that's like for spells mostly. Anyway. Right. Is that telling us that we need charisma? Is that what the green one is? I think that's meaning that we need charisma because we're a sorcerer. Yeah, recommended ability score. So, let's knock up our charisma to 16 to start with. That's pretty good. What else do we need? Do any of the other ones mention sorcerers in the slightest? No. None of the rest ones go for sorcerers. So, I think we need to put a couple points into con. So you see here, now that we have a dex bonus, if I stick that up to 12, that now means that our AC here is 12, our touch AC is 12, but flat-footed, if our dexterity doesn't apply, that's only sitting at 11. It's fine. Also gives us +1 fortitude. I didn't even look at these. So speed is how quickly you can move in combat. Fortitude is for fortitude saves. Its ability to stand up to physical punishment or attacks against your vitality and health. Generally, when you're subjected to an unusual or magical attack, you get a saving throw to avoid or reduce the damage. Like an attack roll, the saving throw is a d20 plus a bonus based on your class and level and associated ability. Your con modifier is added to your fortitude saving throws. Wait, why did that go up? Oh, reflex went up. Anyway, reflex is the same, but for dex, it's for area attacks and other things. And then will is for mental influence and magical effects. So, like, if somebody's trying to charm us, that'll go off will. Right. I think I'm actually going to knock us up to a +4. Maybe even a +5, which is maybe a little excessive on our charm. On our charisma. But I really want to be able to talk. That's one of the main things. We're the main character. We got to be able to talk to people, and we use spells off of it. So, that's good. Gonna get some con. Gonna get some dex. That allows us to dodge and allows us to... survive. It gives us hit points. Now we have one extra point, and it means nothing because all of these are only going to give us a +1 bonus. Actually, what I might do, I might lower our dex by 1 and knock our intelligence up so we get an extra skill point, and then I'm going to put that bonus into... Can I only put it up there? My extra skill point? Why can I not put an extra one in here? Oh, do they cost more? Oh, they cost more when you go up. Oh, well, that changes everything. Yeah, let's move that to 16. How much does it cost for the next level? 3. then 3, and it costs 4 for the max level. If we go for 18, we actually have a lot more points to spend. I do want intelligence up. Let's maybe put that to a 14. Dex to a 14 as well. Almost tempted to ditch some more strength and instead put that in our con and our, well, I could put that in our wisdom. It only gives us 3 left. Oh, interesting. That only costs 1 to upgrade to the next level, while Dex costs 2. Must be something to do with our class. I'm going to knock that up by 2. So we start with 10 health. So we have quite a lot of con, we have quite a lot of charisma, we have a very low strength. So if somebody attacks us in melee, we're in trouble, but apart from that, we're fine. Right, 3 skill points. So these are what our bonuses are to start with. Now some of these you need to have a point in for them to be useful at all, I think. No, it doesn't say that. Anyway, so athletics. The skill represents a character's physical ability in such things as leaping, scaling walls, and swimming. Your character's athletic skill enables you to catch objects, climb obstacles, jump, and so on. Not that useful. Mobility. Talent for balance and coordination, including aerial maneuvers, gymnastics, and tumbling. Okay, enables you to move near enemies without provoking attacks of opportunity, keep your balance, escape from restraints, break your falls, squeeze through tight spots, and so on. Again, doesn't really sound like something we really need to worry that much about. Trickery. Character's ability to perform tasks that require delicate manipulation. Your character's trickery skill enables you to disarm traps or devices, open locks, pilfer objects from creatures, and so on. Again, that's not really us. Stealth? Definitely not us. I don't need to tell you what stealth is. It is the ability to hide. Knowledge Arcana. Now, I do want to get some knowledge skills. So, this one is your character's knowledge about spells, magic items, numerous bits of magical lore. It allows you to identify magic items and monsters, such as constructs, dragons, magical beasts, learn or borrow spells from spellbooks, and scrolls and recall knowledge about Arcana. Seems useful because, well, we're going to have spellbooks, we want to learn about that stuff. Knowledge World. Skill represents a character's knowledge about people, systems that make civilization, and historical events that make societies what they are today. Your character's Knowledge World skill enables you to create or detect forgeries, decipher writing, identify monsters, humanoids, and recall knowledge about geography, people, histories, and places. Actually, when I said you've come to a city and you want to know what it is, actually, world would pretty much be it. Lore Nature. This skill represents a character's knowledge about the natural world. Your character's Lore Nature skill enables you to hunt, identify monsters, recall knowledge about dungeons or nature, avoid random encounters, and so on. Lore Religion. Knowledge of deities, holy lore, and extra-planar realms. Your character's lore religion skill is useful to identify monsters, outsiders, and undead, recall knowledge about planes or religions. Perception. This skill represents a character's acuity, which enables them to notice fine details, see danger coming, and tell when people are lying or otherwise behaving suspiciously. Your character's perception skill enables you to read secret messages, get hunches, notice creatures and details, search locations, sense motives, and so on. Persuasion. This skill represents a character's ability to manipulate other people through negotiation, deceit, or intimidation. Your character's persuasion skill enables you to change others' attitudes, create diversions, and gather information, intimidate, lie, and so on. And use magic devices, the very last one. Skill represents a character's ability to activate magic items even if you are not otherwise trained in their use. Your character's use magic device skill enables you to activate wands, scrolls that you would normally be unable to use, equip magic items that you would normally be prohibited from equipping, and avoid the negative consequences of using dangerous, magical, and cursed items. Right. Oh, that does say trained only. So if it says trained only, I believe we need a point in it before we can use it. Oh, wait. I put a point in that, we get plus... It gives us plus 8. So each point is like a plus 4? If I go in like here, that is plus 4. That's only plus 1. Oh, so maybe it's if we already have a point in it, it goes up? Maybe? Doesn't tell me why we got plus 4, but I think that is something like that. If we already have a point in it, it goes up. Yeah, I think each point beyond the first is worth more. Well, no, because then this one wouldn't count. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I am thinking that we want the plus 8 persuasion and use magic device, though. I kind of want to know about lore nature, but I also I think I want to know more about the world. I want to be able to know about people. I want to be able to persuade people. And I want to be able to use magic. That's our kind of 3 things we got going so far. Abilities. Yeah, we got a few of these to go through. So if we start with these are special abilities. How do I know what we're taking? So we got Feats on the left-hand side. So if I click on these, does it do anything? No. These are special. Oh, these are just abilities we get at level 3. Okay, so we get Woodland Strike at level 3. At 3rd level, you can move through any sort of difficult terrain at your normal speed without taking damage or suffering any impairment. Then Tangle. At 3rd level and every 2 levels thereafter, a sorcerer learns additional spell derived from her bloodline. These spells are in addition to the number of spells given at new levels. So we would learn Entangle because we have the Fey bloodline. Spell causes tall grass, weeds, and other plants to wrap around creatures in the area of effect or that enter the area. Okay. That seems okay. Right. We have a lot of stuff in here. Now, these are feats and sorcerer bonus feats, which have different lists. This one's a much smaller list, actually. I think we might take it first. The spell focus it recommends. Choose a school of magic. Any spells you cast that are of that school are more difficult to resist. So it adds a 1 to the difficulty class, not difficulty check, difficulty class. Close enough. And saving throws against spells from the school of magic you select. Special, you can gain this feat multiple times. Oh, cool. Combat casting. You get +4 in concentration checks to cast a spell or spell-like ability. Elemental focus, we get a different element bonus to difficulty class. Spell focus is kind of better version of that, I think. Mostly. Meta magic, empower spell. You can increase the powers of your spell, causing them to deal more damage. Benefit, all variable numeric effects of empowering spells are increased by half, including bonuses to these rolls. Okay. Heightened spell, I don't know what meta magic is. Is that like a thing we get a set number of times a day or something? Not sure. I think that must be like something we can use a limited number of times, maybe? Doesn't 100% say. In spell penetration, your spells break through resistance more easily than most. You get a +2 bonus on caster level checks to overcome a creature's spell resistance. So instead of it being like a DC, so a DC is we cast a spell and then they have to roll past it. Spell penetration is they have natural resistance, like they have an armor against our spell. So we need to roll above that. I don't think we need it. I think spell focus sounds good. We have to choose a class now. Okay, well. Does it tell us what these classes are? No. We just have to go off my knowledge. I don't think we're necromancy. Oh no, it doesn't tell us what they are. Okay, I don't think we're necromancy. Transmutation is changing something into something else. Universalist, I'm not sure what that means. Illusion, that's kind of like your dancing lights and things. Enchantment, enchanting stuff. Evocation, not 100% sure. Divination, like, well, that is usually like seeing the future. Conjuration or abjuration. My knowledge of these are lacking. I think I'm going to choose illusion for just now. Actually, if I click next, can I skip to the next section? No. So I choose greater spell focus for illusion, right? And skip. Can I get to the spells? Can I see what an illusion spell is? Doesn't necessarily tell us what illusion is. But this gives us an idea. So evocation is things like powerful screams. Okay. Burning hands. Necromancy is causing fear. Illusion is like spraying color, which does things. Transmutation, summoning like weapons. Enchantment is got hypnotism in it. Ooh, fascinate nearby creatures. Okay. Abjuration, protect from alignment. So that's like a buff to friendlies, basically. Yeah, it's got a shield. So abjuration's a buff to friendlies. Evocation's like direct damage. Conjuration is like, I want to be wearing armor. Transmutation is that I want to make something that I do different. I want to buff myself, I think. Necromancy is I want to do something, I want to put a negative debuff on an enemy, mostly. Although that also has it there, so maybe I'm just wrong. Vanish is under illusion. True Strike is divination, so yeah, that's like you're getting a better idea of how you're going to hit them. Transmutation, Touch of Gracelessness, one enemy creature. Doesn't say what universalism is. Does that just mean it's anything? Conjuration gives you Snowball. Okay. I'm seeing what we have now. I'm going to go back and untake that. So spell focus, we're going to instead go for... I think I want to be evocation. Yeah, I want to be all about attacking enemy. We'll take evocation for just now. Then here, greater spell focus. Choose a spell magic which you have already applied spell focus feat. So it could only be evocation. Any spells you cast at this school are very hard to resist, so it adds another +1 to the DC of those. Point blank shot. +1 on all attacking damage rolls with ranged weapons up to a range of 30 feet. Nope. Spell focus. Any spells you cast of that school are more difficult to resist. So we already had spell focus in here. It's the same feat list, we just get a larger number of feats available to us. Alertness is a bonus on perception checks. Allied spellcaster. If the aid of an ally, you are skilled at piercing protections of other creatures. Whenever we are adjacent to an ally that also has this feat, we gain a +2 in concentration and level checks. Arcane armor training, so we can reduce the negative for wearing armor. Could be useful, although we don't have any proficiency with armor yet. Combat casting, concentration spells and spell-like abilities. That's what we get there. Combat reflexes. That gives us more attacks of opportunity. Not that useful. Attacks of opportunity are basically if an enemy runs past us, we can attack them. Coordinated defense. Whenever you're next to an ally who has it as well, you get a bonus. Nope. So anything that says coordinated, we're not interested. Deceitful. +2 in all persuasion and trickery skill checks. If you have more than 10 ranks in one of these skills, the bonus increases to +4 for that skill. Okay, I do like our persuasion, but I don't want to go too much into it. Defensive combat training. You excel in defending yourself from all types of combat maneuvers. Okay. Deft hands. Doesn't seem like what we're looking for. It's trickery and use magic in deft hands. Die hard. Requires features orc ferocity. So we can't take that. We shouldn't be able to take that. Because it requires orc ferocity. Which we don't have. Oh well, I'm not going to take it just because we shouldn't be able to. Dodge. +1 dodge AC. +1 dodge bonus to your AC. A condition that makes you lose your dex bonus also makes you lose this. Okay. Elemental focus. Your spells of a certain element are more difficult to resist. Endurance. Plus on athletics and fortitude. Great, fortitude is a buff on fortitude. Why would you not take... Oh, against fatigue and exhaustion on that one. But this one is just in general. Improved initiative. So this initiative is basically in combat. You do a dice roll at the start. Chooses in what order you go. I think improved initiative could be pretty cool for us. Potentially. Getting to go quicker. You get a +2 bonus on all will saving throws. +2 bonus on all reflex saving throws. Martial weapon proficiency. So we could then get all of those. Oh, did that one earlier for Die Hard say... No, it does say required features. It doesn't say... Doesn't have. Okay. Meta magic. We've read through all of those. Persuasive. +2 on persuasion and perception checks. Okay. Shake it off. When you're adjacent to one or more allies with this feat, you gain a + bonus on saving throws. Shield proficiency. Makes you proficient with shields. Shielded caster. Your allies cover you while you cast complicated spells. If your ally is wearing a buckler or light, so... Yeah, it gives you more concentration checks, basically. Spell specialization. Select one spell. You cast that spell for greater than normal power. Could be interesting. And the red means that we're not allowed it. Oh, not recommended. Not allowed. Oh, okay. Throw anything. So, okay. And that allows us to throw things. That's fine. Toughness, you gain +3 hit points for every hit die you possess beyond 3. You gain +1 additional hit point. hit die are basically like levels, because you get a hit die per level, so they line up. So, yeah, so everyone you possess beyond 3. Once you reach level 3, you get +1. So we can actually take that later. It's not an issue if we need it. The ones it doesn't recommend we take is Arcane Strike, which is the ability to cast arcane spells. You imbue your weapons with a fraction of your power. Oh no, we need an ability to cast arcane spells for it, but that gives us a bonus to weapons. We don't really need that. Blind Fighting, we can attack while being... Oh, we can attack an invisible invisible attacker. Combat Expertise, -1 on melee attack rolls and combat maneuver checks. When you to gain a Combat Expertise. Take a -1 penalty on melee attack rolls and combat maneuver checks to gain a +1 dodge bonus on your armor class. Okay, fine. Intimidating Prowess, you're intimidating, so you add your strength to your persuasion. Rapid Shot allows you to make an additional attack at -. Yep, and then Weapon Finesse allows you to use weapons with your dex bonus. Right, now I've read all that, I'm going to take Persuasive for the extra Persuade and Perception. I know, there we go. Next, spells. We get the same spell list as we just saw. We've taken a bonus in Evocation. So this Burning Hands is all creatures within a 15-foot cone get burned for 1d4. That seems good. Flare Burst. Within a 10-foot burst centered on target creature within close range. What's close range? Doesn't specify what close range is, but that's fine. So it's a 10-foot burst from a target point, basically. Is there a way to sort by... Survival recommended? Oh, it doesn't even tell me. Interesting. I guess any spell is okay. Shocking Grasp as a melee touch attack. Maybe I don't want Conjuration. Do I actually want to take? Kind of like Snowball. You could take something that allows us to summon monsters like an extra planar dog. That could be interesting. I do want the ability to do like direct damage to enemies. Ear Piercing Scream as Evocation. One enemy within close... See, it all says within close range, which is why I'm a little bit worried about these, but... It's fine. Maybe it's just because we're low level. Oh, Magic Missile. There we go. Missile of Magic when medium range. Darts 4 from your fingertips and strikes a target, dealing 1d4 plus 1 point of force damage. So at first level it can do a minimum of 1, maximum of 5. Yeah. You take Magic Missile. And that's going to be the one that we're buffed. Reduced Person. We can make a humanoid small. Not quite what I'm looking for here. Anything else we got? Touch of Gracelessness. Vanish. The ability to just disappear. Touch creature becomes invisible. I was hoping that we could touch ourselves and... Yep, I realized what I said. And become invisible. Expeditious Retreat. Allows us to go 30 feet quicker. Not useful. Color Spray. A vivid cone of clashing colors springs forth from your hand, causing creatures to become stunned, also perhaps blinded, and possibly knocking them prone. Each creature within the cone is affected by according to its hit dice. 2 hit dice or less, the creature is blinded, stunned, knocked prone for 2d4 rounds, then blinded and stunned for 1d4 round and stunned. Okay, and then if it... So this is really good at low level, but actually falls off looking at it. Okay, that's fine, because at 5 or more, so if you're level 5 or more, it only stuns for 1 round. It will take Burning Hands as well. So Magic Missiles for light long range, and then Burning Hands for if we need to cone attack. Okay. Then we have to choose our more about our character. So these voices?
A trivial task. Interesting.
Let's shred them!
Our path leads on. Strike with all your might!
My skills exceed yours.
I won't take that.
No mistakes. Follow if you dare.
Quick, quick! Else the road calls me. All I see is blackness.
Some of them are a little bit...
We cannot be defeated.
involved.
Let's move. This doesn't suit me. We won't falter. I'm wounded.
I failed. No contest. Let us be careful. I feel faint. Aim carefully. My skills exceed yours.
I like reserved. I think I'm going to take reserved. Right, birth date. How many months do we have? We have 12 months. So, we are going to choose my actual birthday. There we go. Arodus II. Obviously. And then we have to choose our name and our alignment. So, our alignment, what are we thinking? So, lawful good. Does it tell us generally what these are? Yeah, lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, neutral, chaotic neutral. Anyway, if we go through it. Lawful characters tell the truth, keep their word, respect authority, honor, tradition, judge characters who fall short of their duties. Chaotic characters follow their consciences, resent being told what to do, favor new ideas over tradition, and keep their promises only if they feel like it. There is also true neutral in the middle, which is you're not anything. Now, I think we were going for like a, we're kind of Fey-like, we kind of like nature in the world. Do we want to be lawful, though? Tell the truth, keep their word, honor tradition, judge those who fall short of their duties? Maybe. Lawful neutral? We're not good or evil, we're more about respecting tradition within the world, I guess. That could fit us, yeah. We're kind of lawful neutral. We're about respecting traditions within the world. Yeah, that seems okay. We do... Lawful doesn't mean you follow the law as well. It means that you follow tradition and things like that. I want the tooltip back. Yeah, so what does it say again? Judge those who have fallen short of their duty. Respect authority. Yeah, we could do that. And our name? Well, usually I just use an anagram of my, of like, Alpax, but that's not going to work. Because I've done Zapla, I've done Palxa, so I need a new name. We're a sorcerer, so we're going to be... We could be Sora. Sora the Sorcerer. Sora... Seros. Yeah, we're going to be Sora Seros. That's my brilliant naming convention. Because it's Sora, Sorcerer. And then some extra letters. There we go. And that's us. That is character creation complete. An hour, just about. Yeah. There's a lot. And hopefully, you're able to see in there that we've got a whole bunch of stuff. And we've got abilities we haven't even looked at. We got Demoralized from our Persuasion. Because our Persuasion is high enough that we can use it to demoralize people. We got Fighting Defensively, that's just a natural one that we have. Yeah, there's so much in here. And I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you for watching. If you want to see the game in action, the video should hopefully be going up right after this one. Or actually, probably should have gone up a couple minutes ago. Go check it out. It's going to be awesome. See you then. Goodbye.